morning, I'm Sean Maynard with your Adelaide News Briefing. South Australia could become the next...
Birth name is Antonio Claudio Alvino.
Aris Gatoudis. I was born here in Adelaide.
Father and mother both are from Calabria, which is down the bottom end of Italy.
My father was born in northern part of Greece, came here when he was a 19-year-old.
They came with nothing, but they came to a country that was plentiful. There was work available.
I think the western suburbs there were a lot of the Italian and Greek families in those areas. So there was a certain cultural aspect to those areas at that particular point in time.
We were brought up in an Australian household that was really an Italian home in Calabria, but it was in Woodville. Growing your own vegetables was just the dumb thing. There was lawn, but the lawn was dug up and converted into a garden. Any spare bit of dirt, they just grew vegetables. Aris and I first met at the dental hospital when we were both at the University of Adelaide, when we were both dental students.
I was in final year of dentistry, he was in fourth year.
And we had an interesting meeting. Probably best we don't put on film.
Most of it's pretty blurry, but all I can remember is we had a great time.
Aris, within 5 minutes of knowing him, you know that he's just the most genuine, honest individual you'll come across.
From there, started working within what was called at the time the House Dentist Training Program at the Adelaide Dental Hospital, which was a further 2 years of training underneath some specialists.
Our friendship developed predominantly in those first few years that we were practicing dentistry, where we were learning our art. I wanted to start a practice, and I wanted to start that practice with someone, and it had to be no one else but Aris. So I just remember having a beer together with him at the Botanic Hotel, which was the pub across the road from the dental hospital, and just sitting with him and saying, I want to start a clinic, and I think you should join me. We should do it together, and we should do it in the West, where we grew up. And that's what we did. We've had a relationship with Jeremy for some time now. It would have to be a good 20 years.
He's just very personable. He obviously knows his stuff. We've financed multiple leases of equipment through our dental surgeries, the actual properties themselves. In any situation, he's been able to come up with perhaps an alternative that might suit us better, which to me speaks volumes of his knowledge. And it's worked for us, to the point where I've referred people to see Jeremy. He's looked after finances for my daughter with her home. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have complete trust in somebody.
I will, without hesitation, recommend him to anyone. I've had 2 sons that are now dentists, both wanting to buy a house, and I just said, give Jeremy a call, because Jeremy's the person that I deal with, and he's the only person now that I deal with.
I can remember the time when we bought the property to set up the practice. On top of that, had to set up the finances to build the practice. That was particularly stressful. And to have someone that could direct you an appropriate way eased a lot of pressure. And that's what Jeremy was able to do.
Aris and I both were quite young. We were in our mid-20s. We had no business background whatsoever. All we had was the dental degree that we got. We opened the doors and literally put a now open sign out on Grange Road, which is where our clinic is and still is.
At the start, we had no one to see. We'd turn up to work without a patient, and we would just hope like crazy someone would come in, and when they did, you would do whatever you could to make them happy so that they would refer family, friends across to see you.
And through word of mouth, things just took a while to happen, but it slowly grew. And 1 went to 2, 2 went to 6, 6 went to 12.
We've never been ones to advertise. We have a very poor presence on our websites, etc. We've relied on the word of mouth, which is a bit old school, but it's worked for us. I'm proud of the way we've been able to grow something from nothing, and there is just a really happy, friendly environment. Sure, we all have our little issues from time to time, but when you are quite tight and quite family oriented, you work through those pretty easily. So very proud of the culture that's being developed within the business.
What I find just quite amazing still is to go to work and have a group of dentists working, a group of hygienists, and have a clinic, a 6-chair clinic, which is going pretty well full bore, and to see appointment books that are, lucky for us, full. It's hard to put into words what Jeremy has done for Aris and I in our business. He helped us realise our dream.